Have you ever been gaming or working online classes and your internet service constantly gets interrupted? First Nations Fiber is about to ensure that just won't happen again. Get ready for high speed at a new level. Click on fnfiber.com and sign up today. First Nations Fiber, empowering people through connectivity.
Welcome to the KYC at 50 podcast in conjunction with Your Jose, and we're joined by the Gunawag Youth Center's Kyle Zacharie and Jack of all trades Paxton Phillips and Thunder Jacobs. And this week or this month, we're talking about the Gunawag Youth Center's haunted houses.
That's right. So it's a big part of our community every year. People enjoy the haunted house. People look forward to it. And we enjoy putting it on and scaring people, seeing how many people you can get to cry or even chicken out and not even go into the room or event or wherever we're holding it. We're looking forward to hearing some stories.
So, I mean, this is one of those events that's become pretty much a staple in the community every Halloween. How many years has it been going?
I was really hoping you were going to ask me that question because I don't know how many years it's been going, but it has definitely been going on for at least, we'll go with 20 years, looking back at some of the photos we've been pulling up, for sure, 20 plus years.
All right. And Paxton, so you're a board member for the Gunawag Youth Center, but also you've been involved with the haunted house. So what's your role here?
Good question, Greg. Well, usually I just help out with the haunted houses back. I don't know. I guess I started when I was, I don't even know, like 13, 14 helping out. And that was just because even before that, it was when I was in after school program at the youth center. So they would kind of just ask certain kids if anyone wanted to help it. And I was always more than willing. And now, I'm clearly not in the after school program anymore, but I am a board member and I just really love Halloween. So I try to help out every year with the haunted house as much as I can because, I love a good haunted house.
Okay, so we have to put it out there that Paxton's mind's a little creepy because last year she came in with a skinned goat skull with the eye hanging out.
Yeah.
And had it right there on the table.
Love that. It was great. I have 4 more reserved for this year if I can get my hands on them.
So that's just you have that stuff hanging around your house or?
No, I asked Talbert. Resources, man, All
right. And Thunder, I guess you've been involved in the haunted house for quite some time.
Yeah. Kind of started 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Started mostly because of competitions. They had competitions back in the day where whoever had the scariest house would win. And those were fun. Those were pretty fun. But that's the time I started, roughly.
Okay. And so this year with Halloween coming back and people being able to celebrate Halloween in a more normal way than the last few years, is there anything I guess we should expect from the Gunawag Youth Center's haunted house this year?
I guess I'm not sure how far the planning of the haunted house for this year has gone yet because I haven't really attended any meetings per se. And I know, my hands aren't as involved with this year's haunted house as I guess they were in the past. And I don't know. I don't even know what to expect really. I mean, I've sent some ideas, because I like if you had to ask me jump scare over suspense, I prefer the suspense. I'd rather be scared and creeped out rather than just a boo-ah. So that's kind of what I'm trying to implement into this year's haunted house. But that's just my preference. So that's why it's different because I know a lot of people like the jump scare. You know what I mean? They like to walk around in the dark and just not know and you're just on edge. But to me, I find it short-lived. So I've been sending some ideas that I find creepy. Like he said, I find a decaying goat skull with its eye hanging out scarier than a clown jumping out of a closet for 2 seconds, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. Expect it to be creepy, I guess.
This year's haunted house is definitely going to incorporate all aspects. We definitely have the jump scares and we will have the decaying goat head somewhere, somehow. There you go. So it won't make Paxton happy. But without giving away too much, haunted house is at a different location this year. It is not going to be at the Gunawag Youth Center. We are going to be doing haunted house outside. And there's a little bit of a ride, a little bit of a walk involved. We'll definitely have something for everybody and we'll be scaring as many people as we can.
And Thunder, what are some of your favorite things about the haunted house over the years?
Obviously scaring kids. That's always a good time. I feel like scaring teenagers is the best feeling. obviously you get those kids that are just scared of haunted houses in general. It doesn't have to be too scary, but when you get a teenager group that are screaming and yelling, it's pretty good. It's fun. Yeah, it's just a good time, really, when you're at the haunted house, especially when you have a good group. It's a really fun time, and the pizza afterwards is pretty good. So
During your time doing, volunteering and scaring people, what's some of the craziest things that have happened?
nothing too crazy. Well, I seen a kid piss his pants before. That's probably one of the worst ones. A couple of funny ones where people try to scare people and wipe out and stuff. That's always a good time, but nothing too wild.
I got my face punched once.
At the haunted house?
Yeah, I was a worker. It was my friend. I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm not shocked she punched my face. Let's just say that. But it was one of the years where it was in the gym, and they had it set up like a maze, like you had to walk through, and there was different like setups and stuff like that. And my job was to be under a table, and I was laying on top of like a scooter. And when a crowd would come through, the person I was with would like shoot me out from under the table on the scooter, and I would just like scream and grab at people. And it just so happened that it was a group of my friends, and I didn't know, right? Because I'm under the table, like I can't see them. And he shot me out of the scooter, and I just so happened to grab my friend's leg, and she like decked me right in the face. But I mean, it was pretty funny. I didn't mind. I mean, she was scared, so it's okay.
Before you guys took part as helping in helping, how often do you guys go to the haunted house every year? And was it something that, like, as a kid, were you scared of it or?
Yeah, I went every year. Certain things I remember being scary. Maybe it was because I grew up at the youth center and I just knew that it was haunted in general. So like even being there at night when it's dark with the lights off was like scary enough for me. But I remember they used to do, it was like, I like when it's based off of movies because like it's movies that I'm scared of. So it's already something I'm scared of. And they turned the computer room into the scene from The Ring, I remember. And they built like a well right in the middle of the room. And they put us all in there, and they had like a staticky TV in the corner. And they just had us all staring at this TV, and it was super loud and staticky. And then all of a sudden you turn around, and I think there might have been a strobe light. So like, you know what I mean? It was like, you can see, you can't see, you can see, you can't see. All of a sudden, like the girl from The Ring was crawling out of the well, and it was scary because she looked like legit. Like it was scary. And I remember like shitting my pants. And then they used to have like another scene where maybe it's The Exorcist. I don't know what movie, but any kind of possession movie, I guess. And it was in front of the office on the second floor where they would have it. And I think the pool table was there at the time, maybe. And they had a girl, and it looked like she was floating. Like she was laying on the table, but she was like levitating on the table. And I don't remember how they used to decorate back in the day. Maybe I was just young, so it looked more real. But I remember thinking that this woman was like really floating, and it was scary. And I remember going through it with my mom and my sister, Aislinn, and she was like a kid, she's 2 years younger than me. And I remember her like literally trying to like, I don't even know, she was so scared. She was like pulling on my mom, and my mom joked because she said it felt like she was trying to like get back inside her stomach because she was just like, she was scared. She was screaming, and I remember it being scary growing up. But I started helping out really young. Like before I graduated elementary school, I started being in the haunted house. So then clearly like I don't want to say I didn't get to enjoy it because I always had fun. That's why I keep helping out every year. But I never got to, like, I didn't get to walk through the haunted house and get scared of it at that point. But I remember going as a kid and it being really scary.
Yeah. I remember before, pretty sure the dances were going on at the same time. And then you would have a ticket, and then you would have to build up the courage to get in line, which was pretty rough because kids coming back were like crying. So you were nervous, and the suspense was pretty wild. But yeah, that was always crazy. Like she said, it seemed like it was, well, for me anyways, it was pretty freaking scary. I think that's why I enjoy doing this, because I remember being like that, and it was a good time. So yeah, that was always fun.
I'm happy to be on this side of it because you know what? I've gone through a couple haunted houses, and no, thank you. I'll scare people all day. I don't mind, but to walk through it, I'm not walking first.
See, I like being first. I like haunted houses.
Like I remember the year where you went to the youth center, and that's like where you got ready, and then they put you on a flatbed. I think it might have even been horse drawn, and they drove you to the island, and it was all played up, and they had the guide who was with you and telling you a story. And I forgot where we were going on the island, but as soon as you crossed the bridge, the PKs were there, but they were involved in it as well. And they told you a whole story, like the haunted house is canceled, like you guys got to get off. There's a situation going on. But they were so serious and they're like, wait, is this real? Is this part of it? Like what's going on here? Once you jumped off, they took you through the bush and that was it. But I remember that one, like that one was scary. I think that was one they played up in the newspaper like a whole month before. And like, you know, all the stories around K103 and everything, like building it up and different things. So it worked out that way. But even a couple of years ago, you had to line up in the gym and we weren't at our location where I think we were going to, could it be Cognawaga? We did it on the golf course. I could be wrong. But you had to line up in the gym and then you walked into the equipment room, but the whole equipment room was blocked off. So it was just a long black tunnel to go out the room. And once you walked in, they slammed the door shut and people would start crying already. And then they turn on a red light and it was just a heartbeat, but the light would flicker with the heartbeat. And so many people are like, nope, I'm done. Turned around and walked out right there. People would start crying and screaming before they even walked out the door to enter the haunted house. It was just like the staging room, you know? So it's funny to see what puts people over the edge.
And how did the Youth Center's haunted house become such a big thing and a big part of Halloween?
You know, like Thunder was saying, competition. You know, it started out with competition of who can decorate the most, you know, the best haunted house. But even for like the staff, it's always been competitive in everything we do. So if we, you know, got so many people to be scared and cried one year, well, we have to make it better next year. We have to make it better the year after. And we have to keep always making it better, you know. That's always the goal, is to have more people scared, more people cry, more people leave, not even go through it, more people, you know. So I think it's just constantly getting bigger and better because that's how we are in town. You know, everything has to be bigger and better every time.
So we should talk a little bit about the haunted house this year. We don't want to give anything away about, you know, what scares you got planned or anything like that, but just tell us a little bit about some of the basics that people should know, since the haunted house is only a couple days away.
For sure. So this year's haunted house will take place on Sunday, October 30th. We always do it on 30th. It's a, you know, alternative to Mad Night, get everybody off the street, have a good time. So we'll take place on Sunday, October 30th. And we're going to have 2 different scares this year. So we're going to have the 1 to 3, which is going to be the kid scare, the light scare, you know, nothing too crazy, you know, the whole family can walk through. But then there's the, you know, the if you dare scare, I guess you can say, from 7 to, we're closing the door at 9. If you're in line, we're going to put you through. So let's say 7 to 10, because we always have, you know, a couple hundred people coming through. It will take place at Kahnawake Survival School. So by the time this airs, obviously that information will be out to the community, but it's going to take place at Kahnawake Survival School. And we have a lot of help of the grade 11s. So this is actually going to be a big fundraiser for their graduation as well. And we've been talking to them for a couple of weeks. We've been talking to their teachers, and they're really pumped for it as well. They have a lot of great ideas. So it's definitely not something to be missed.
People will go directly to the Kahnawake Survival School and not to the Youth Center?
Correct. That's right. So everybody will go right to Kahnawake Survival School. That's where you'll pay your admission, and that's where we'll stage you and get you ready. And then you'll head out onto your haunted house adventure, I guess we can say.
And where Thunder's going to try to kill you or something?
Possibly.
There will be a tractor ride, and there will be a walk, and there will be different things. Everything goes to plan. I mean, we're still setting everything up this entire week, but it'll be, you know, a good 15 minutes of being scared, 15 to 20 minutes, the entire, from start to finish, from the time you get on the tractor to the time you hopefully survive.
So, what are you guys looking forward to most about this haunted house?
For me, I she said, I don't know too much about it. I'm usually just like the show up that day kind of guy, and then like I work from there. But yeah, I'm just excited. I feel like with a bigger venue that Survival School can, you know, give us, it's going to be pretty good, you know, so especially with the numbers, I think it's going to be awesome. So I'm excited to see that.
Same. No, like you said, I'm excited, but again, I don't know too much. I guess maybe that makes me more excited because normally I know, like last year's haunted house, I pretty much was there all week planning it. Like I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm kind of going in it blind a little bit. So that's exciting, but it also makes me nervous because I'm a little bit of a control freak. I'm a lot of bit of a control freak, especially when it comes to haunted house and Halloween. It's like my thing, you know, it's my Christmas. So, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited to see what the KSS grads can come up with. And like you said, there's a lot more people helping. So that should be cool because that's kind of the struggle every year, you know, is to get, you know, a lot of people want to go through the haunted house. They don't want to be in the haunted house. So it'll be cool. And I mean, I've participated in like the KSS challenge nights in the past, and those are usually KSS graduate fundraisers too. And those have been pretty freaking scary, and it's pretty immersive, and the experience in itself is always worth it and a great time. So yeah, I think they got it. I'm excited.
All right, and final details about the haunted house, cost of admission, and all that.
Yeah. So cost of admission will be $5 per person to go through. Like I said, there's gonna be two different parts. There's gonna be a kid scare where it's gonna be in the daylight, and it'll be a little light on you. So for all community members, and then there's the If You Dare scare. Again, it's $5 per person, and it's all a fundraiser for grade KSS grade 11 grads. So come and support them. But definitely, we're gonna have a lot of fun with that one. We've been planning for a couple weeks now, and not that we're keeping them out of the loop, but we usually keep the entire haunted house as secret as possible. So for us, even telling an entire graduating class as many details as we am, we're a little nervous that too much has gotten out already. So hopefully they're keeping it quiet as well. But yeah, so it's going to start 1 to 3 is the kid scare. And then the If You Dare scare starts at 7 p.m. on Sunday, October 30th. And that's going to run until we close doors at 9. But if you're in line and ready to go, we're going to keep running until we pass everybody through. And every year, there is a wait. We know, and we try to get groups through as quick as possible, but it will take you some time to get through. But I guarantee you, it'll be worth it. And we're going to see if the trend keeps going the way it has in the last couple of years. 500, 600, 700 people go through haunted house.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much for your time, and remember to check out the Kahnawake Youth Center throughout the year as they celebrate their 50th anniversary. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Your Diva and its employees.